conditioning system diagram to show you the flow of refrigerant throughout the AC system. The compressor is the workhorse of the system and is where we'll start. It receives cool, low-pressure gas which is compressed into a high-pressure, high-temperature gas and pumped out of the discharge side of the compressor and flows into the condenser. This high-pressure, high-temperature gas is shown as red with bubbles, indicating it's in a gas state. The condenser does just that. Cool air flows across the condenser, cooling the high-pressure, high-temperature gas, turning it into a high-pressure liquid. As you can see, the gas remains red, high pressure, but changes to arrows indicating it's changed to a liquid. The high-pressure liquid flows through the receiver dryer, having a desiccant bag inside it to filter and absorb small amounts of moisture that may contaminate the refrigerant. On the AC system using an orifice tube, the receiver dryer is replaced with an accumulator, which is located between the evaporator and the compressor. The high side service port is located here, between the condenser and the expansion valve or orifice tube. Next, this high pressure liquid passes through the expansion valve, allowing it to expand and turn into a low pressure liquid as indicated in our color change from red to blue. This low pressure liquid flows from the expansion valve directly into the evaporator, at which point it begins to boil and turn back into a low pressure gas, absorbing heat as it does so. This chills the walls of the evaporator, and the blower motor pushes this cool air through the vehicle's dashboard vents. As you can see, the liquid arrows turn back into a gas as indicated by bubbles. The low side service port is located here, between the expansion valve and the compressor. The low pressure gas then returns to the compressor for another cycle. A number of car manufacturers started using a thermal expansion valve, or a TXV, to make the air conditioner operate more efficiently and give better cooling. The TXV system, as shown in our diagram, has a small temperature bulb located at the outlet of the evaporator, which continually adjusts the refrigerant flow through the expansion valve and into the evaporator based on the evaporator's temperature and pressure. Because the evaporator's outlet temperature is used to regulate the TXV valve, it sets a maximum operating pressure at the evaporator outlet. It then flows through the low side service port, where in many cases is being measured by low side gauge only to charge the system. As refrigerant is added, the pressure on the low side rises until it reaches its maximum operating pressure, which is typically 35 psi or lower. If this pressure level is below the gauge's established correct fill, which is typically over 35 psi, even though the system is fully charged, adding additional refrigerant will not show on the low side pressure gauge, but will build up on the high side and can only be measured using a high side gauge. In these cases, using only a low side gauge can potentially cause too much refrigerant to be added and result in damage to the compressor or other problems associated with overcharging.
Do you know how to maintain your air conditioner? Did you even know you were supposed to? The good news is air conditioner maintenance is super easy, and in this video we'll tell you the 8 air conditioner maintenance tips you can do on your own to help keep your air conditioner running as smooth as possible all summer long. It's just super bright out here. Come on. It's okay, I live here. Just like rotating the tire and changing the oil in your car, air conditioner maintenance will help prolong the life of your air conditioner, help it run more efficiently, and cool your home better. You know, in real estate, they say the most important thing is location, location, location. Well, when it comes to your air conditioner, the most important thing is airflow, airflow, airflow. And that's why 3 of our air conditioner maintenance tips are related around airflow. We've broken your system down into 3 major parts: the outdoor unit, the indoor unit, and the thermostat. I've got a list of helpful maintenance tips for all three. I just have to find my list first. Oh, thanks. Unless you plan on using your bare hands, here's a list of tools you'll need. Garden hose, new filter, level, thermometer, raincoat, rope swing. Okay, let's head to the outdoor unit. Your system pulls air in through the coils and blows it out the top. And if your coils are blocked, it can severely decrease the efficiency of your unit. There's a couple things you can do. The first thing you should do is cut power to the unit. The preferred method is to flip off the breaker. If you don't have a breaker, pull the disconnect. Next, you want to clear the debris away from the unit. 2 foot around is a good rule of thumb to make sure the leaves, debris, and grass clippings are away from the unit. If you have bushes or shrubs, you want to trim those back as well. Take your garden hose and rinse off the coils. Reach what you can with the garden hose and spray from the inside out. Let the water flow down the coils for a while until it looks like you've gotten all the dirt off. Then spray off the debris you see on the outside. The fins on the unit are very fragile. Be careful that you don't bend them over. See if the unit looks level. If it's too far off center, you may want to have a professional level it up. Check the electrical connections. Make sure that there's no exposed wires. Check the insulation around the line set to make sure it's still good. Now reconnect the power. Careful when you slide the disconnect back into place. You shouldn't have to force it. Now let's go to the indoor unit, where your filters are. Start by cutting the power. Check the filters to make sure you can still see light through it. When replacing the filter, be sure to pay attention to the direction that the air is flowing. Make sure that the arrow on the filter lines up with the direction that the air flows through your unit. Replace filters as often as needed. This can be different for each home, so be sure to check it at least once a month. If you have a humidifier, remember to turn it off in the summer. Pour some water down the drain line to make sure that it's not clogged. Some people add a little bleach to the water to clean the line. Okay, now we're at the thermostat. Really the only thing you need to do to check and make sure that it's working properly is verify that the temperature on the display matches the temperature in the room. An easy way to do that is to just get a visual read thermometer and make sure they match. As long as you're within 3 degrees or so, you'll be fine. These air conditioner maintenance tips that we've shared with you are things that anyone can do on their own, but manufacturers actually recommend that you take it one step further. In the owner's manual, it actually says that you should have your system inspected regularly by a properly trained technician. So as part of your air conditioner's maintenance, once a year, you should have a certified HVAC technician come out and tune up and inspect your unit. They'll have the specialty tools and gauges to go more in depth. They'll check voltages, check the capacitor, see if there's any obvious concerns, check the refrigerant levels, those hard to reach components, and more. They should review their findings with you and answer any questions that you have. If you have a friend or neighbor that works on air conditioners, you might be able to get them to do this for you. But if you don't know anyone, in your local market, you should be able to find a certified HVAC contractor to come to your home and perform this annual service.